I had the whisper of an idea, but it just wasn't taking form. It just wasn't going anywhere. There was too much noise. And no matter how much pushing and forcing and squeezing and trying to figure out how to make it fit into this nice little box I had created for this idea, it just wouldn't flow. So here we are, talking about creative blocks and quieting the noise so you can hear the signal instead. Welcome to Singer-Songwriter, a space to reconnect with your voice, your music, and the songs waiting to be written. I'm Lainey, singer and songwriter, voice and creativity coach. If you've ever dreamed of writing and singing your own songs, but doubt or perfectionism keeps getting in the way, then grab that notebook full of ideas. It's time to open your voice, trust your sound, and express yourself freely. Your songs are waiting. Let's bring them to life. Have you ever felt the creative whisper of something inside of you that wants to be given a voice? Whether that's a song, a creative project, a new creative season, a new direction artistically. But that whisper is being drowned out by noise. Noise from the inner critic, noise of daily life, noise from busyness. It's that mental clutter. It's almost like you're in the middle of this traffic jam with noise all around you and you're boxed in from all sides and you can hardly hear yourself think. Overstimulation, that's the word. I know that feeling. I have a toddler and a baby. Today we're talking about how to quiet the noise so you can hear your creative voice and follow it wherever it's leading you. Maybe that's to a new song, maybe to a new creative project, or it's just the seed of an idea. How do you clear the mental clutter? Clear the creative blockages that are keeping you from hearing your creative voice clearly. And I'll tell you something. This episode is not what I was initially planning on talking about today. Y'all, this is the third time that I've tried to sit down and record this. I had the whisper of an idea, but it just wasn't taking form. I tried to come at it from different angles and, tried to just get centered again, all of these things, and it just wasn't going anywhere. There was too much noise. There was something there blocking the flow. And no matter how much pushing and forcing and squeezing and trying to figure out how to make it fit into this nice little box I had created for this idea, it just wouldn't flow. So here we are, talking about creative blocks and quieting the noise so you can hear the signal instead. When you hit a wall creatively, like I did with this episode, no amount of pressure or pushing or forcing is going to break down that wall. It's not that kind of a wall. Maybe for you, that wall is, I don't know how. I'm not ready yet. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid to share my voice. Or maybe it's, I can't figure out the lyrics that go with this melody. Or I don't know enough music theory to write music. Or I don't even know where to begin. What is that metaphorical wall for you? Where is this creative block showing up for you in your singing and songwriting practice? Whatever it is, you don't need better technique to move through it or more structure to move through it. It's not that you need more discipline or to work on some sort of technical skills or to analyze it until you're blue in the face. What you actually need is space. You just need to make space. You need to make space to listen. So I knew what I really needed wasn't, grinding it out and just pushing and putting pressure on myself to figure it out. I knew what I needed was space because I've been here before. Creativity, artistry, it has its cycles, it has its seasons. And I've been here before. And I know when the noise gets heavy and loud and suffocating, that what we really need is space, making space to listen to what actually wants to come through. But how do you actually do that, right? How do you make space to hear your creative voice and reconnect with that creative flow? So here are 3 essential practices that you need as a singer-songwriter to make space and listen to that creative voice. Because in order to make music, to sing and express yourself, to write those beautiful song lyrics and bring them to life through melody and harmony, you need to listen, to make space to listen. So here are 3 essential practices to do just that. Number 1, journaling. This is reconnecting to your inner voice through writing. This is the part that clears the static so that you can hear the song inside of you. So you can hear that creative whisper and determine where it's directing you to go, where it's taking you, where it wants to go. This can be stream of consciousness writing. This is a practice that I use so often when I have questions or uncertainties or a cloud hanging over my creative vision. Sometimes it takes multiple pages to clear away the mental clutter. But then what comes through after that is the beginning of a song or an emotion, a theme, a story that I've been circling around. This recurring theme tells me there's something there. Maybe there are lyric fragments. Journaling also helps you reconnect to your heart. So it's like a little check-in because songs come from the heart, right? So we have to be connected to that space inside of us. Your journaling practice is unique to you, but it can include journaling prompts. specific things that you want to write about. Or it can just be stream of consciousness, letting it all flow out onto the page. Set a timer for a certain amount of time or a certain number of pages in your journal. You're setting aside time to connect to your inner voice, to your writer's voice, right? Becoming the songwriter inside of you, not just the singer, but the songwriter as well. You need to connect to that inner voice. Which brings me to number 2, vocal improvisation. This is the practice that will connect you to your actual singing voice, the physical instrument itself. Vocal improvisation is about reconnecting to your embodied voice. So this practice helps you listen and follow your singing voice where it wants to go. This is how you wake up your voice without pressure, without perfection, but just with curiosity and listening. You can do this through humming, through toning, opening up to vowel sounds, maybe adding in some consonants, playing with the melody, maybe words are coming through. You're following these tiny creative impulses and learning to trust the way your voice wants to move, following the little thread and seeing where your voice wants to take you. So the vocal improvisation, or creating in the moment without pre-written notes on a page or any preconceptions, you're singing in the moment spontaneously. And that's teaching you to listen to your voice and let it be your guide. Number 3, creative play. This is like the artist's date, as Julia Cameron says in the book, The Artist's Way. Amazing book for artists of all kinds. But this is where your creativity has some room to breathe again, and you get to reconnect to your inspiration. So the Artist's Date, if you haven't heard of it, it is simply an adventure that you take your creative self on. It can be small, it can be big, it can be, a trip to the museum, it can be a trip to your fireplace with your cozy beverage and a blank page on a journal. It can be a walk through nature. Your artist's date is yours to imagine. But this is where you spark that inspiration. You fill your creative well. You pour in all of these visuals, these colors and textures and movements and, words, poetry, beauty, nature. Let it pour in so that you have this creative substance to work with. It helps you hear your creative voice through context, not just effort, not just sitting down and trying to make something. You are allowing ideas to flow to you and through you by just playing. Maybe you just go to the playground and you swing on the swing and you look up at the sky and breathe in the fresh air. The more you play, the more the song becomes clear, whatever that song is for you. So just to review those 3 essential practices that you need to draw from when you face creative blocks, or when your mind is so full of noise that you can't hear that creative whisper that wants to come through. Number 1, journaling. Number 2, vocal improvisation. And number 3, creative play. And that can look so many different ways, which is so fun. But these 3 practices, you can choose one. You can try them all. You can mix and match. Do different things at different times. Whatever's calling you, try it. And over time, you will learn what works for you in these situations for when it comes up again, because it will. As artists, we know there's noise and there's harmony. And how do we get to that place of soaring melodies and rich, luscious harmonies? Well, we have to make space for it. And we have to listen for it. So choose one. Play with it. Try it. You know, what worked for me in this situation as I was wrestling with this episode was journaling. That's the path I chose in the moment. And I used this journaling prompt that I'm now going to share with you. And it led me in so many different directions. You know, it took a couple pages of going off on tangents and, you know, blurting out weird, seemingly disconnected things. And a couple pages in, it finally started to land. And something opened up, something shifted. And I got to the root of it. So it can take time. And it's a process of clearing out that mental clutter. That's what I was doing. All that stuff that was peripheral or that seemed unrelated. All the detours. It's all part of it. Because that is the work. It's clearing all that away so that you can hear that ringing coming through, that ringing resonance of, yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I'm trying to say. So this journaling prompt, it was the original idea for this episode. And who knows, maybe it will become an episode someday. But this is the one that wanted to come through. But I'm still going to share with you this journaling prompt because there may be something here for you. And that is, what is the song I haven't written yet? Start there. What is the song I haven't written yet? And that can look one of two ways. Number one, it could mean the literal song that you haven't written yet. You know, lyrics that you haven't spoken, stories you haven't told, emotions you haven't expressed, melodies that you feel, but you haven't followed that thread to see where it takes you. Or two, this could be a metaphorical song. So maybe it's that creative project that's calling to you, or the version of yourself that you're growing into artistically, creatively. So maybe it's the voice that you are embodying, or the artistic identity that you're ready to claim, whatever that metaphorical song is. Let whatever comes through just be what it is, whether it is a literal song that you haven't written or the metaphorical song that has yet to be sung. And there is no right direction to go with it or wrong direction to go with it. You just start here and see where it takes you. And for me, it took me to a completely different episode. So here we are. I hope this helped you in some way. Or maybe you can tuck it in your back pocket for when your next creative wall rears its ugly face. I trust that this was the message that needed to be spoken, and this was the message that needed to be received for this episode. So here it is in motion. If you are feeling that creative whisper, but it's being drowned out by all this noise and you can't seem to cut through it to hear what really wants to be expressed. If you want support making space for your creative voice, my one-on-one vocal breakthrough sessions are where we work through this together, gently, intuitively, and with a lot of creative play. You can learn more at reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching. There is always a song inside of you. Maybe it's that one you haven't written yet. But the only thing standing between you and that song is noise. So your job is to quiet the noise, to make space, and to listen for that familiar resonance of your creative voice, saying, yes, this is what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted to express. This is what wants to come through. Thanks for listening, friend. If this episode moved you or inspired you in some way, would you please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with someone who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough? Until next time, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.